Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday, happy Wine Wednesday, and good evening or afternoon or even morning, depending on where you're joining me from. But cheers to it being Wine Wednesday. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, so let's go ahead and take a drink as we open up tonight's Wine Wednesday. Okay, so I want to first of all thank you all for joining me this evening, and definitely thank you to everyone that has tuned into Wine Wednesday on a consistent basis. I'll admit I'm sometimes am not really a camera person, so to know that I'm actually doing something that people like to watch and like to see and are either entertained or educated or both by them, that means the world to me. So for all of you that have commented, have sent me messages about episodes, or just how you really appreciate the little tidbits of nuggets and information that I drop to you in my Wine Wednesday, I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because as a realtor, or even as a person, I'm always big on guiding people. I'm always big on teaching people things. I may not know everything, but what I do know, I will help someone and teach them along the way. So certainly being a realtor means that you wear many hats, and being a teacher, advisor, I don't know. It's a lot of things that we can be, but teacher and advisor are two of the hats that I most commonly wear. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight for Wine Wednesday. So this particular episode is not just for my realtors out there, but it's also for my buyers and my sellers that are looking to get into the market or are looking to put their property out into the market in some shape or form, whether it be investing, selling, buying, all of the above. This message is literally for anyone that is in real estate, mostly on the client side. So if you're watching my story earlier today, what I mentioned that I wanted to talk about tonight is just how important it is for you as a client to be on the same wavelength as your realtor. And by being on that same wavelength, it's very important that your realtor is not just working for you, but also working with you. So what I want to do first is explain what I mean by your realtor working with you versus working for you, and how they need to do both. So let me go first with when your realtor is working for you. When we as realtors took the oath of being a part of the National Association of Realtors, when we decided to go into class, when we decided to get our certification, our license, all of that, when we decided to do that, there's a thing in our foundation that's called fiduciary duties. What that means to us and what that means to you as a client is that as a realtor, I have every single duty, and it is ingrained in me here and here as a realtor to do everything in my power to make sure that as long as you are my client, that I am doing every single thing and having you as my client, having your best interest at heart. So anything that I'm doing as part of the transaction, it's not just making sure that we get you to the closing table, but also to make sure that I just have your best interest. If there is something that I don't feel is very appropriate, or it isn't really going to fit your needs, then, excuse me, sorry about that. That is something that as a realtor, I'm going to bring up to my client. That's what I do. So that is something that every realtor should do. And that is my definition of what your realtor is doing when they're working for you. Now, working with you, this is where things get even a little deeper, and it's important that you do get on this level with your realtor. What I mean when I say your realtor is working with you, it means that as a realtor, I'm guiding you, I am leading you, I'm helping you to understand everything that's involved in this transaction so that you know what the meaning of every single step is. It's not just me saying, okay, we're going to do this, and then you as my client is just sitting there like, yep, okay. Since I signed that contract, yeah, okay, I'm going with it. No, that's not what you want. What you want is for your realtor to be working with you, which means that they are guiding and educating you along the way. That is something that I pride myself on as a realtor, is to make sure that each and every client is being educated and is learning every single step that is involved in this transaction. So when it comes to selling a house or buying a house, those transactions aren't just transactions. Those are business negotiations. It's not just a hobby. It's not just a job. We are talking about actually performing a business, full on contracted business transaction well, not just as a realtor with your client, but also with the other parties that are involved in the entire transaction, whether that be lenders, whether that be appraisers, whether that be inspectors, any person that's involved in the transaction. It's very important that you are educating your client on the various steps that are involved in the transaction and letting that client know what each person's part is in the entire transaction. So that's what I mean when I say that your realtor should be working with you. So clients out there, you want to make sure that whatever realtor that you're working with is working both for you as well as with you. I'm really big on the with part because I'm very thorough in making sure that I let my clients know every step of the way that we're going, and also just giving them some little hints and tidbits, giving them some education background on what those steps actually mean. So I operate that way. Maybe other realtors do not operate that way. As realtors, we wear very different hats. Sometimes we wear many hats, actually. Sometimes we're a listener. We got to be a listener anyway. So let me rephrase that. Sometimes you have to be a teacher. Sometimes you have to be an advisor, which is pretty much the same thing, but you have to sometimes play both of those roles. Sometimes for multiple situations in different ways. It's different levels to being a realtor. You're not just a person that sells and buys houses. It's a lot of different things that you have to do with it. So, again, in my story today, I was talking about how I'm currently working with a client of mine, and I just borderline felt, based on the conversations that we were having, I didn't feel that her lender was really taking her best interest at heart. I felt that some of the things that she did not really understand were things that he or she were supposed to explain to this person, to my client. And it's not that I would be a person to be like, okay, let me check your lender to make sure that they're not, not that I would do anything about that. But what I make sure that I do is, if I feel that my client is not privy to something, I make sure that I start from the very beginning and I explain that to them. So with my particular client, we're in the process now of getting ready to put a bid in pretty soon on a property that we found this week. So we're going to be taking care of that. But prior to that, there was a home that we were going to put an offer in. However, I kind of looked at the home. It was beautiful. It's a very beautiful home, very beautiful property, very well kept and maintained from the outside in. The staging of the furniture, absolutely beautiful. Everything was great. But I did not feel that it fit what my client was looking for. And you really want to make sure as a client you have a realtor that is able to kind of look at things past what you're seeing in front of you. So what I mean by that, I'm going to still use my client as an example. We went to a home earlier this week, looked at it, staging beautiful, furniture beautiful, very lovely couple that currently owns the house that is, looking to sell it. And immediately when we walked in, because it was staged and it wasn't completely empty like some of the other homes that we were looking at, my client was kind of blindsided by the beauty of what was in front of her. And so I had to take a step back. I said to myself, yeah, this is a very beautiful home. I would even consider it, but we're two different people. But I did know that at the end of the day, this isn't about me and what it is that I like. This is about me working with my client and explaining to them why I would feel that that home is not a good fit. Because sometimes as a realtor, this is part of building that relationship with your clients. And clients, same thing. Your realtor should be building a relationship with you to the point where they know if they're out and about somewhere. Let's say that you're not working with them that day. Their client, the realtor is out and about riding around in the market, and they happen to see a home that's listed. They see the home. They check it out in the system and everything like that. They're able to look at this place and present it to the client and say, hey, this really fits what it is that you're looking for. Not just by number of rooms and number of bathrooms, basement, garage, square space, all of that, but maybe the layout, the open floor plan is something that your client may not have actually thought that they wanted. But it's like, I can present this to them, because at that point you understand at least a little bit as to what their tastes are like, what they kind of like, what appears to them to be great. And me and this particular client, we've been looking at houses for probably about 4 weeks straight, but we've really been hitting it hard the past 2 weeks. So there's that. But again, if your realtor notices something, you have to be able to see things past what's in front of you. So clients, again, trust your realtor. Do trust the realtor that is working with you and for you. I'm going to give you some tips kind of in another video that talks about how to look for those different things, because that's something that I do think is important to talk about. But for right now, it's just important that you have a realtor that is really trying to earn your trust, really has an interest in what it is you're looking for. So let me back up to what I was doing for my client. So I noticed that, yes, the house we were looking at was very beautiful. And yes, she wanted to put an offer in. So I was like, okay, we'll talk about it. I'm going to go home, do some research, try to see if it's even smart for us to even put in an offer for this particular home. Again, it's not just selling the home or having someone get a home. You got to know if this is the right fit. So what I did was really look into the market and see if this home was, number one, priced correctly, and number two, was absolutely what it is that will fit my client's needs. Unfortunately, after doing the research, I didn't feel that it did. So when I spoke with my client today, I explained to her, I said, this is the reasons why I would feel that it's not a smart idea to put an offer in on this particular home. Her response really was very, very appreciative. She really appreciated the fact that I'm not a realtor that is just out to get your money. I'm not trying to just get you to the closing table as soon as possible so I can get me a $10,000 check. Like, no, that's not what I do. Because my mindset is this: I'm going to treat you with the platinum rule. That platinum rule, not just the golden rule. I'm going to treat my clients with the platinum rule, which means I'm going to treat you the way that you want to be treated. And I know that my clients are looking for something more than just your basic everyday customer service. We're talking about a massive investment into something that your client is going to be keeping for several years, well, however many years that may be. This isn't just like buying a car. We're talking about a serious business investment. So I take it to heart when I'm looking at these homes or looking for things that need to fit my client's needs. So she was very, very appreciative of that. And that is something that a lot of realtors that I've encountered don't have. So it's a very unfortunate thing that some realtors are really out here operating as just strictly car salesmen and saleswomen, not really taking the fiduciary duty pledge seriously that we took when we first started as realtors or became realtors. So yeah, it's something that I do pride myself on. So again, clients, I feel that it is very important that you don't just sign a contract with a realtor. Have them really present to you why you should work with them and why they should work for you. It's not just about purchasing a home. If it is for you, that's fine. But we're talking about, again, a business investment, a business transaction that does take some serious emotions and money. So you want to make sure that your realtor is on that page with you. Your realtor should be guiding you, leading you, educating you, and just letting you understand the transaction to the point where their client should be able to reiterate it back to you. So clients, make sure that you are asking every single question that comes to your mind. And if you don't know what the question is, that's okay. Because Google will tell you a lot of things. YouTube will tell you a lot of things. I've had moments where I had to ask Google a question and didn't know exactly what words to put into the question, but I just typed in exactly what it is that I'm thinking in my head, with all the things thinking in my head about it, and then I found the answer. So it's okay as a client if you don't know the answer. That's okay, because if you knew all the answers, you would be a realtor yourself, or you would be probably doing a whole for sale by owner thing for all we know. It's just, we don't know. But you would be on that page of being able to do this stuff yourself. But that ain't the case. You have a realtor, that's what they should be doing, working with you and working for you. Like I said, guys, I'm going to do a more detailed video on a Wine Wednesday one of these days, or one of these Wednesdays, where I do go into more detail on things that you should look for in your realtor before you decide to choose one. But I just wanted to kind of just give a little tidbit of my opinion on as to why it's very important that you do have a realtor that's working for you and with you. So that was a lot to kind of marinate on, but either way, I wanted to just drop that little nugget of information there. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You guys know what it is. 15 minutes is all we have for our Wine Wednesdays, according to IGTV. So that's what we're going to keep it at. So on that note, cheers again. Thank you guys so very much again for joining me tonight and continuing to follow me and to join me on other Wine Wednesdays that I have coming up. So yeah, just continue to follow, continue to watch. Clients, if you need a realtor that's going to work for you and with you in the state of Michigan, I'm here for you. So I'm signing off right now, you guys. I will see you later, and have a great rest of your week. Cheers.